Well, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Ambition, Honey, and Hustle. I am Candace. I am super excited to be talking to the world today, and I thought it would be fitting for me to start off this first podcast really talking about why even do this podcast? What's my story? Why am I trying to be so focused on helping people make career choices that affect their lives for the better and helping them do more with their time and be more impactful in their careers? So, after the theme song, stay tuned. I'll be right back. So the big question is this: how do we ambitious professionals avoid the slow-moving career, take control of our time, and get paid for two things? Doing what excites us and making an impact bigger than anyone ever thought was possible. That is the question, and this podcast has the answers. My name is Candace Spears, and welcome to Ambition, Honey, and Hustle. So a little bit about my story. In 2014, I was working at a manufacturing company as a product manager for one of the software portfolios. And I was so excited to be in this role. I'm telling you, I had just moved into marketing. I was bringing all this just mad, crazy energy, new ideas to the table to launch new products, all this stuff. I really loved bringing ideas to life. And so I felt like it was the perfect job for me. I love being in front of customers, testing things, testing concepts, just the whole shebang. So at the time, we had this power struggle that was beginning to happen between the software research and development team and the global marketing group. And the struggle was really about who was best knowledgeable on what should come next in terms of products. Should it be the team that was responsible for the future of technology and looking out for all the next new twists and turns in tech, or the team who was essentially out talking to customers? So with this power struggle, it manifested itself directly in the work that I did every day, because those decisions and those roadmaps on what came next in terms of our software products, I had responsibility for. And at that point in time, there was someone else that was essentially stepping into my box, someone else trying to push and direct teams in a different direction. And really, it was frustrating. I wanted the respect of my position and the ownership of my role. All the talent that I brought to the table in that role, I felt like it was being sidelined. And I really wanted to be acknowledged as the reigning voice for the portfolio. I felt like I was losing a war. So when I got a phone call from a recruiter, I was very open to hearing what she had to say. I then left my job and went to work for a new place that promised to give me a ton more opportunity because it was bigger. It was well known. Their marketing department was like 10x the size of the one I came from. So I'm sure to grow and beef up my resume, keep climbing the ladder, all that great stuff. So as I got settled into the role, I kind of began to have this sense of regret. The work that was in front of me felt beneath my skill level, beneath my ability, and even beneath my education level. I had spent most of my time working and cranking out these quote unquote marketing reports for the sales team. I felt like I could be doing more, and I had lots of moments of, are they really paying me to do this? And are they really paying me this much to do this? So nevertheless, getting through all that, I pushed forward, and I pushed forward in a way that I was looking for. I was creating opportunities that I knew were valuable. I was creating new marketing automation campaigns. I was really trying to prove the real value and the capability that I could bring to the table. And I was making headway with this approach. Absolutely. Then performance review time rolled around. I just recall sitting in the office, in my manager's office, closing the door behind me, grabbing a seat. And I met with my manager, who, by the way, was a new manager. New as in I had just joined the company like 7 months ago, and he had been my manager for about 2 of those months. He gave me some glowing reviews of the work that I had done so far, both holding down the menial report building tasks, as well as my initiative on some of the new marketing campaign concepts that I had come up with. That praise was mixed with development feedback, as normal, and, once his part was done, I was still waiting for more. So I asked him, so tell me, what do you see as my goals for next year? His reply, though, felt off. I want to talk about that in a separate discussion tomorrow, he said. So as I left his office, I sat and I wondered, what could it be? Why not just tell me right then? Seems strange, but whatever. Let it go, carried on. So next day, when our second conversation arrived, he said to me, and I remember at that very moment, the way I was sitting and where I was sitting, I was positioned directly across from the window. So I recall looking at him, yet looking off to the window, but looking at him, and then the words came out of his mouth. We're going to be eliminating your role. Those words sent a variety of emotions through me. One of them, believe it or not, was excitement. And the excitement was because I was now free to look around the company and find a different role without that waiting period restriction. Sometimes you have to be in your role for 12 months, 18 months, whatever, before you can look around. But hey, I'm essentially free from that, so I can see what else is out there. But the other emotion that came through me, and more intensely as the days went on, was brokenness and the feeling of being lost and without an identity. I had taken an immense amount of pride in being at this company. Regardless of how I felt about the work, the title gave me prestige and the name recognition. I held on to that, but it didn't hold on to me. I really had 2 months left to determine the next identity I was going to take on. But it hit me, and it hit me hard. No matter what identity I took on, it can always be taken from me. One night after work, I sat in the parking lot, and I just remember thinking, I don't want anything taken from me ever again. So whatever I do next, I will always be Candace Spears. I will take that title to whatever company, and that my brand, my talent, my ideas can never be taken from me again. So it was in that moment that I knew I needed to create this brand, this Candace Spears identity, but I also needed to make money. So I needed to both of these things to work together. So while I was in my 2-month cover period, I had done some soul searching, figured out what my strengths were, what it is I really wanted out of a role, and let go of my thoughts about a specific title. I landed in a company where really the hiring manager couldn't hire me fast enough, given my background and my experiences in Agile, which is it's a software development methodology. It's got a mindset mix in it. It's heavily used in startups. And so having been in marketing and having that Agile experience, there was a lot that I could bring to this company who was going through a transformation. So I took my brand building, my I alone own my identity concepts into this new role. And every time, I promise you, every time I got feedback, something I did was successful, I documented it for future use. I would lead sessions to gather requirements with users, but did it in this creative way, like a way that allowed people to relax, to open up, and sometimes, honestly, feel like they weren't even at work. I was getting results. And the minute I began to hear others talk about it or come to me asking, hey, can you show me how to do that thing you did when? I said, Candace, okay, stop. You've created something that is yours, a way of approaching collaboration. It's yours, not the company's. People find value in it, cement that. And so going with that, I went and I wrote the book, Bring Your Crayons to the Office. And this was all based on the experiences that I was having at work and the positive feedback and people finding things valuable. And it was that book that was helping me build my brand and helping me really own my talent. Remember my mindset. No one can take that from me. So the more people began to talk and the more I felt emboldened to share my book and my experiences, my opportunities opened up like crazy. The CIO at the time had the initiative to help his development team go faster, and it was all about using Agile. So getting the word about my book and then interacting with me, I got my shot to lead this initiative, and it grew at a rate and scale faster than I even imagined. In 1 year, I took what was meant to be a small training for about 150 folks in the IT department to over 400 in the company, including executive pitch outs and sessions with the CEO and staff. I would walk around the building. People knew my name, and I'd struggle to find their name in my memory bank. People would see me in the elevator and talk about how they're using Agile in their work and thank me or ask when's the next training. It had really taken on a life so big. I got a request that came in from the sales staff to see if I can help train our customers and give them a value add for some of the stuff that I was doing internally. And so that year that I spent led me to promotion to the management team. And that was fantastic. Here I was, the youngest manager that I could see, and the second Black person to be in management at this company at that time. And I'm like, okay, yes, feeling it, making it. And I continued to press forward, giving the coaching help, supporting people to be agile in their thoughts and their work and all this good stuff. Then one day I remember there was an IT all hands meeting that just popped up on everybody's calendars. And anytime you have meetings that just pop up on the calendar, they generally signal some big news. Maybe there's a reorganization or there's a round of layoffs. It generally isn't something pleasant. So I remember, okay, well, something's going on, but there's always something going on, so we'll see. Day of the meeting, hour of the meeting, came in, got my seat, sat in the room, listened to the CIO kick off and heard him say, "I'm retiring as of April 1st. And a flood of emotions came. Wait, this is a key person in me having the freedom to build the success and the momentum so far in this company. Wait, this is the person who's gone to battle for me, the person who saw my potential. What does this mean? What will happen? Does anything I've done even matter anymore? All of my work, is it going to continue to live? Will it be at the bottom of the next person's agenda?" I found myself once again with an identity that had gotten swooped up into something else, into someone else. While I came to the company with a strong, I'm going to build my brand, I own my identity attitude, it had got lost in the past year. I stopped focusing on owning my talent and just focused on making the company successful. And once again, something was being taken from me. I'm not supposed to be here again. It was at that moment that I opened myself up to possibility. I opened my ears to the things and the voices around me. I had some honest conversations from respected individuals in high places in the company who were transitioning out. They were retiring or they were just leaving to pursue other things. And I heard everything from, "You're wasting your life," to "Don't be complacent with where you're at," to, "You've got an amazing talent to bring people together." And the thing is, I started listening and I started reflecting on all the things that I accomplished, and I started putting in more work outside of work by investing in myself, learning more about how I leverage my expertise, starting blogs, starting Facebook groups, bringing people together, learning where I have the expertise and really realizing how I can help and impact more people. I went from allowing myself to continue to get sucked into another company, another person's identity, to being very intentional about building my brand and very intentional about everything I've done to date, every opportunity to come, being so intentional that I would remove any future possibility that I could get sucked in again. I knew that I had a bigger impact to make. And that impact was going to include shortcutting the journey to help others do similar things, gather their experiences, leverage their opportunities, build their identities and their brands that they can take with them no matter what they chose to do. The thing is, I sat and I thought about my little girls. I've got 3 little girls. And when I talk about shortcutting journeys, I think about them too. And I had to model for them what freedom and ownership of a career and of your life felt like. That was my responsibility. I needed to go the extra mile. The impact I was going to make and the impact I'm continuing to make today is what you see now. And what you see now at this moment is the impact that's bigger than any company can contain. That's what I'm preparing myself for. That's my attitude. And that's why I am here today. If we're not already, let's get connected. I tend to hang out on Instagram, and you can follow me at Candace Spears. If you follow me, drop me a DM and let me know that you're listening on the podcast. I've got some really awesome goodies for you. And right now I've got the From Boredom to Career Fulfillment in 3 Months video guide. So that might be of interest to you. Either way, I look forward to connecting with you very, very soon.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.